Good day to you all. I thought we'd start the week with something a little special today. I haven't bought Jurassic Park as dinosaur models because I prefer scientifically accurate ones. So long-time viewers might be surprised that what we have here is the W Dragon Indoraptor from the Fallen Kingdom movie. Now there are a few reasons why I got him. First, while the Jurassic Park dinosaurs are inaccurate and stylized, the Indoraptor doesn't pretend to be any real dinosaur. It's in fact a movie monster, and I can enjoy him as such. 2. I've always wondered what a quadrupedal predatory dinosaur might look like, and this is it. And 3. Besides the quadrupedal Spinosaurus, this is the closest I'll get to a mix between dinosaur and dragon. I had gotten this Safari Limited Cave Dragon, but the paint application was disappointing. And this looks like a similar idea, but heaps improved. And fourth and last, after red and black, yellow and black is probably my second favorite color scheme. So this is the model out of the box. The box doesn't include any extras that I can see, and really it doesn't have to, because this model makes a statement very well on its own. I believe the real Indoraptor is about 7.3 meters or 24 feet long and about 3.1 meters or 10.2 feet tall. Now this model is 48 centimeters or 18.9 inches long along the curve and 16 centimeters or 6.3 inches tall, making it 1:15 scale. The base will add another 2 centimeters or 2/3 of an inch. Now I believe this is a blend of PVC and PU resin, and it's got quite a heft at 673 grams or about 1.5 pounds for the Indoraptor, and the base is 1.35 kilograms or 2.9 pounds. Now I love the Jurassic Park movies, but I'm not a Jurassic Park expert, so I won't assess this so much on the accuracy to the Fallen Kingdom movie and leave that to you guys, but purely as a model, pretty much the way I review my dragons. The Indoraptor is a cross between the Indominus Rex and the Velociraptor, and certainly I can see some resemblance in the presence of the quills down the neck and back, and the tines in the elbows. And these quills are made of a soft PVC material, but I'd still be really careful, especially on the neck ones, which I feel are a bit stiffer to me. I love the yellow and black theme. Now the overall black gives it a very sinister appearance, and even though most of it is black, you can still make out the detail depending on how the lighting hits. Come to think of it, I don't believe I have any black dinosaurs, so that's an idea. The striping here is faded very nicely into the black, although compared to the release images, it loses some complexity in the mix with the orange, especially on the sides. If we go now to the head, you can see how detailed the sculpt is. Now with the release images, there were two things I was especially unsure would be preserved. Firstly, you can see the eyes have this flame-like appearance with a mix of orange and red, and then a vertical black slit for the pupil. This, I'm happy to say, is preserved in the model, giving it that evil eye I remember from the movie. And secondly, the teeth. Now the release image has this realistic discoloration of the teeth, perhaps even a hint of rot. Well, here in hand, you can see the complexity isn't manifest, but you'll still see that the teeth are yellowed with some discoloration near the root, and it's not an all-white affair. The inside of the mouth is a little weird. There are no choanal openings, but this kind of a flap. And the tongue is raised in apparent movement, which probably wasn't possible if it has the same hyoid structure that other theropods have. The gums glisten in a realistic way, and the jaw doesn't articulate. And even though that means you won't have seam problems, I kinda wonder if being black, it could have actually gotten away with an articulated jaw without looking too obvious. The neck is also very fine, with a crisscross of veins and folds that flow very naturally, which continue down here. I just love the way this flows to the ventral surface of the animal. And down in the belly. Now let's go back up. Now as you travel down the body, you can see more detail and scalation differences. I especially like these overlapping dermal plates on the dorsal neck. Probably not very realistic in a real dinosaur, but it works well on a monster like this. And on the sides, these more elongate scales. And how they seemingly then morph into these scutes. These scutes have an interesting pattern, going from a double row to merge into a single, and then splitting into two again. And it's symmetrical on both sides, so you have a double on double row appearance. And these overlapping plates go from the head and actually travel down the entire spine of the animal and up to the proximal tail here, forming a beautiful protective cover for the spine, very dragon-like and reminiscent of the Raytheon here, for example. These quills here have, shall I say, a very functional all black with no shades, which seems to be a bit of lost opportunity given how they seem to be a unique accent to the animal. For example, in this Prime 1 Indoraptor here, you can see the addition of alternating bands of color. Of course, to be fair, we're talking about the $150 statue here versus the $850 they're asking for the Prime 1. The arms and legs are very slender, and again look at how these scales vary in size and shape down the arm. Over the back of the hands. The design of the plantar surface of the hands and feet. The claws on all four limbs are sharp, and as you can see, very well painted, with a pleasing fade down from the root to the tip. With an overlying gloss that lends life to the illusion of living tissue. And in the feet here, we have the killer raptor claw, which I thought could be a little bigger, or perhaps raised a bit higher up to call attention to its uniqueness. And going back up the feet and legs, you can see how bird-like the scales are. Then down the tail again. ending in the tip. In general, you can see how narrow the monster is from the top. In fact, this is a very sleek animal, which makes it unusual, as the tendency for monsters in the Jurassic Park franchise have tended towards being more bulky, and that adds to the sinister feel of this dragon, or should I say this monster. Now let's look at the base. As you can see, it's in the form of an octagonal pedestal. It's got a nice mix of greys that give it a kind of a steely, dirty street look. The main attraction is, of course, the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom logo, proudly embossed on a magnificent plaque. And rightfully so, because this is an officially licensed product. And it declares this loudly and proudly, nothing to hide here. W Dragon has certainly not skimped the detail and quality of this base. I also like that these cracks actually have a subtlety to the colour applied to them. It's not just one uniform colour. Now, just a warning, it is very slippery, so be very careful to minimize handling it too high up off the table. And here's the full setup. The overall feeling is quite amazing. The pose is that of a monster, obviously stalking its prey, lending to the sinister theme again. To end off, I really like this representation of a movie monster. W Dragon has brought to bear the skill we saw in their Giraffatitan, although I really hope that having acquired the license, that doesn't keep them from doing any real dinosaurs in the future. W Dragon has certainly restored my faith in the idea that they who can be trusted with little can be trusted with much. I really do enjoy the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, and I see myself maybe buying one or two most iconic dinosaurs one day, but right now I'm glad to have this one. It's certainly not an exaggeration to say that it's an iconic monster from my time. And I would say that save for little details like the colour in the quills, for most of us who can't or don't want to spend on the Prime 1 Studios statue, this is a very, very worthy alternative. So I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I'm certainly looking forward to the comments from the Jurassic World experts out there, of which I'm not one, and I'll be very eager to hear what you have to say about this model. Alright, I'll see you guys soon with another video.